San Agustin Church, Parish Church of San Agustin of Intramuros. It is located at Intramuros, Manila. San Agustin Church is considered the oldest church in the Philippines. Ang San Agustin Church ay kinukonsidera na isa sa mga pinakalumang simbahan sa Pilipinas na gawa sa bato. Before it is a stone structure, in year 1607, ang pinakaunang gawang simbahan na ito ay gawa sa bamboo at nipa leaves. Built in the southern wall of Intramuros, these were eventually destroyed, nasira, dahil sa bagyo at malakas na hangin. Kaya ngayon, gawa na ito sa bato upang hindi madaling masira dahil sa bagyo. In 1586, a resolution was passed to build a stronger structure using adobe stone, one of the strongest construction materials back then. Sa taong 1586 ay may pinasang batas na palitan ang simpleng bato na gawa sa Intramuros at palitan ito ng mas matitibay na mga bato. Ang mga batong ito ay tinawag na adobe stone dahil noong sinaunang panahon, yung klaseng mga batong ito ay pinakamatibay. Huge slabs of adobe were cut from the quarries as far as Guadalupe, Mayquayanan, and San Mateo, Rizal. It has withstood many earthquakes and man-made disasters from 1645 up to the present. Dahil sa matatag na pagkagawa ng San Agustin Church, maraming mga sakuna na ang dumating, pero nakatayo pa rin ito ng maganda at nakasurvive sa mga maraming sakuna. The church was also spared during the Spanish-American War in year 1898, the Japanese invasion in 1942, and the Bloody Battle of Manila. Sa simbahang ito, marami na siyang na-witness na mga wars. Isa na ron ang Spanish-American War, Japanese invasion, at Bloody Battle of Manila. And also, San Agustin was finally chosen as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1993. It remains the oldest church in the Philippines and only the church dating to the Spanish colonial era still in existence within the walled city. The San Agustin Church was designed by an architect named Juan Macias. Next is the Quiapayo Church, the Parish Church of Immaculate Conception of Quiapayo in Calambanga, Camarines Sur. Established as a town in 1578 by Franciscan missionaries. They are the priests Father Pablo de Jesus and Father Bartolome Ruiz. Not only is Quiapayo one of the oldest church in the Philippines, Also, it is one of the earliest structures built during the Spanish regime in the region. And until now, the church stands firm as an enduring symbol of Catholicism in Bicol. The patroness or yung sinasamba nilang santo sa Quiapayo ay si Our Lady of the Immaculate Conception. It was declared a National Historical Landmark by Presidential Decree Number 260, dated August 1, 1973, and amended by Presidential Decree Number 1505, dated June 11, 1978. Architect Jose Maria Zaragoza is the one who made and designed the Church of Quiapayo. The third one is the Mahayhay Church, the parish church of San Gregorio Magno of Mahayhay in Mahayhay, Laguna. This structure was originally made with plywood, which didn't last long. So, yung plywood na gawa noon ay hindi nagtagal dahil alam naman natin na ang plywood ay manipis lang na kahoy. The version of the Romanesque Church of Mahayhay we see today, which is the present, is 200 feet long, 56 feet wide, and 54 meters high. So, kung titingnan niyo kanina sa picture, napakalaki nito, napaka-wide, at napakataas. It has 3 levels. Inside the church is a retablo mayor and 4 other minor retablos with intricate design. The floor is tiled with azulejo, a glazed colored Spanish style. So kung inyong imagine nun, Mahayhay Church ay napaka-engrandeng simbahan. The 5-story square bell tower with a conical roof and balustrated windows on each level is connected to a catwalk called the Langit-Langitan. It is located above the ceiling, which leads to the crossing over the transept. As you can see, there is a red circle in which that is where the Langit-Langitan can be seen. As one of the oldest churches in the Philippines, it also contains antique images of saints, relics, and century-old liturgical objects. Okay, as you can see, the red circle, that is the relics of different saints. As you can see, there is Mama Mary, there is Jesus, and many more. Next, we have the San Pedro Apostol Parish Church in Lubok, Bohol. As you can see in the left and the right picture, it is the before and after of the one of the earthquake that was hit in Bohol way back in the year 2013. But sadly, it didn't survive the earthquake and made a lot of damage of the San Pedro Apostol Church. The San Pedro Parish Church is the second oldest church in the Philippines and also one of the most visited in Bohol. It is the Church of San Pedro in Lubok. Located beside Lubok River, was initially built in 1602 but soon reduced to ashes. In 1638, a stronger one was constructed. So, before my earthquake noong 2013, may another earthquake pa noong year 1638. Then, San Pedro Church of Lubok has survived some floods, but not the 2013 earthquake. So, as I say kanina, yung nakita natin yung picture na sira talaga ang San Pedro Church ay yung 2013 na earthquake lang talaga ang nakapinsala sa church. Hindi niya na survive ang sakunang iyon. Okay, next we have the La Purísima Concepción de la Virgen María Parish Church. The La Purísima Concepción de la Virgen María Parish Church is popularly known as Baclayon Church, founded in 1596 and became the oldest Christian settlement in Bohol. The present coral stone church was completed in 1727. Actually, the Baclayon Church was also declared a National Cultural Treasure by the National Museum of the Philippines and also a National Historic Landmark by the National Historical Commission of the Philippines. The Baclayon Church was formerly included for the UNESCO World Heritage tentative lists of the Philippines since 1993. Even though the Baclayon Church is not officially part in the list of UNESCO World Heritage, but it is in the tentative list, so it is in the process of being one or being considered as the UNESCO World Heritage. The church building sustained significant damage in the 2013 earthquake that hit Bohol. Diba, sinabi ko kanina yung San Pedro Church ay lubhang nasira talaga ng earthquake noong 2013. Pero, ang Baclayon Church ay hindi totally nasira, but may nasira pero konti-konti lang. Hindi kagaya ng San Pedro Church na talagang nasira. The next church is the Basilica del Santo Niño in Cebu City. Founded in 1565, the minor Basilica of the Holy Child, commonly known as the Santo Niño Basilica, is a minor basilica in Cebu City, Philippines. The first church and convent were built out of the hardwood and nipa. Both structures burned down on November 1, 1566. In 1735, the present-day church had its groundbreaking and was completed in 1739 or in the year 1740. Next, Santa Monica Parish Church in Panay, Capiz. Next is the Saint Mary Magdalene Church in Hinigaran, Negros Occidental. Saint Mary Magdalene Church is considered as one of the oldest church in the country. The Saint Mary Magdalene Church was built in year 1858 and was completed in 1881, together with the convent and belfry. The church was made of coral stones from Guimaras and hardwood from Palawan. Through the donation of people's silver coins and precious jewelries, the church was able to produce 5 bells. And the last oldest church in the Philippines that we will discuss for today is the Baptist Church in Pampanga. Kapampangans know it simply as Baptist Church, but others call it by its official name, the St. James the Apostle Parish Church. This centuries-old building is a local treasure thanks to its lush wall and ceiling murals by 19th century painter Simon Flores, local artist Macario Ligon, and later his assistant and nephew Victor Ramos. So that was the end of our lesson for today. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have learned something. Bye! For your activity, make a scrapbook or portfolio in a long band paper about the old churches in the Philippines. Choose at least 5 churches that was not mentioned in the lesson. Be artistic and make your work neat and clean. Okay?